the scorpion tail.
Hot garbage.
And
Dubstep brings down the roof at the Concorde. Welcome to another episode of Velocity Chaos! Hello and welcome here to the Velocity Chaos podcast. We are coming to you at the speed of sound on these sweet airways from the Hexapod Soundhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. My name is Luke, and I'm joined by my co-host, Nick.
Hey, happy to be here for the 110th episode of the Velocity Chaos podcast. Even more excited to be sitting next to DJ Countdown, who's going to run the board today.
hey, man, it's always great. We're counting up all these episodes we got going on.
I like it. Higher and higher. Luke, what's on the show today?
Oh, we got to see something. Nick's got to show us. I got some party knowledge about some trash. And then we are going to pitch a movie to DJ Countdown off the top of our heads. All that and more. And just a note for our returning listeners and a little tidbit for our new friends that here at the Velocity Chaos podcast, we explore the highest heights of human knowledge and the lowest depths of crude humor. Our mission is to tickle that pink thing between your ears, poke that frontal lobe, or sometimes just smash the laugh box. So hop in and buckle up for an infotainment ride across the airwaves.
And before we get into it, a reminder to follow us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod and on Facebook. Also, drop us some stars on Apple Podcasts, some love on Spotify, and toss us a sub on YouTube. Thanks as always for your support.
Okay, let us get into our warm-up game. Make the connection. You guys know the rules. You'll figure it out if you don't. DJ Countdown is going to roll some QBs and then give us a couple words. Let's see what number we get.
Let's give her a whirl. Sweet, sweet cubies. We got a 3 and a 1.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
All right.
man.
So we got 4
Gonna be
turns.
tight.
Less than 7. What do we get in between?
Let's warm up these frontal lobes. I would like you to make the connection between fruit and dinosaurs.
That's simple.
We got it, right? We
All right.
got it.
You ready?
Okay.
First word doesn't count.
Yeah.
Nick, fruit.
Seeds.
Buried.
Oil.
Dinosaurs.
Nailed it.
Little curveball.
Yeah.
Little curveball. All right. Well, I feel warmed up. That was like really short compared to anything usual, but it's all right. I feel good. Guys, you got to see this. You got to see this thing that I discovered recently. So Wacken Open Air is one of the biggest metal concerts in the world, right? It's a huge, 3-day event. I think it might be 4-day event now. It's been going on since the early 90s. It started off as a bunch of guys just doing like a thrasher metal performance in a gravel pit for a bunch of bikers in Germany. It's in outside of the village of Wacken, and since then has grown to become one of the most important stops on the metal tour. Everybody from Iron Maiden to Megadeth to you name it has been there, and all those nasty gooey acts between. Iron Maiden's going to be there this year, which is really cool. And I should say Metallica has played there as well. So it's checked all the boxes of metal royalty. But just through research,
All two.
all two, as well as Megadeth, it's Metallica, and it's Iron Maiden.
All 3. So,
yeah, okay.
Just a couple small indie bands.
Yeah, just those guys, who only sold like 300,000 platinum. The thing is, it's put me square in the sights of the metal community. I've had to learn like a little bit just from my side of work, looking for certain music events. I've had to do some research about Wacken and looked at bands, just curious. Some of the names are just crazy, right? It's like Blood Splatter Goreface, and you're just like, cool, like what's this? How many followers do you have? 10, that's what I thought. But I came across this one band called Nothing More, which is an American band from San Antonio, Texas, that was formed in 2003. They were self-funded. If you guys would refer to this screen, I will show you the guys. So this is Nothing More, 4 dudes. That guy never wears a shirt. The lead singer, Johnny, never wears the shirt.
With those shoulders, I
With
wouldn't.
those shoulders, you know what I'm saying? I mean, 2003, you got the lead vocalist, Johnny Hawkins. That's the shirtless guy. You got the guitarist Mike Vallelonga, bassist Daniel Oliver, and drummer Ben Anderson.
My favorite part is that everybody wearing a shirt's just like looking away. They're like, "Yeah, dude, we can't. It's just him. It's his thing."
That's the cool thing. Yeah, you got to just look off into the distance.
That's every bandmate's like job is like just let the frontman do his thing. Don't watch him do it. Don't engage. Don't engage the dog. But anyway, he's out there, Johnny, making things crazy for them. So they're self-funded. They've been around for 20 years at this point. Must have started when they were really young, and just carving their way out. They did like 4 studio albums on their own dime, and then finally in like 2017 they bagged a couple Grammy nominations. They grabbed like 3 Grammy nominations for a couple singles and like a rock album. So they really made it. But the reason why I brought them up for our show is because of this crazy, ridiculous stage thing that they do. And I popped in a video here. And so that's Johnny just cranking it. And it's got to be a couple songs, or just one big song. And he goes over to this thing and they call it the scorpion tail.
Oh my!
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
So he goes up on this giant metal contraption. Part of the performance, he's just wrecking it, and it's just like meant to be just throttled, just completely ripped on. And all the levers go into different like accentuations that he can put on the entire band.
Yeah.
So he can like pull out the bass. He can like add more treble. He's got like a warble in there and just like a lot of different effects that he can just start just shredding on and just making himself look like a total badass.
That full body
He's
instrument.
Like flying. Wah. Just
He
a wah
becomes
pedal.
the Iron Man of instruments.
Yeah, so that's it. I wanted you guys to see that because it's just like unbelievable. I thought when the first time I saw it, I just was like, what the hell? And with the music on, it's even better because all of his actions actually pertain to the band's sound.
Yeah.
So I thought this was one of the coolest stage stunts in a while that I've seen.
The biggest thing I was interested in is, did he have an extremely hairy chest and just shaved a strip down the middle?
Oh, in that?
Yeah.
He like does these
Shaved
paint
suspenders.
Yeah. He paints his chest a lot. That's part of the act, I guess.
okay.
So he's just like
Didn't run a lawnmower down the middle.
That's like the metal Tommy Lee move, dude. Like instead of the upside down drum set, he just got the flippy scorpion tail thing.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like Tommy Lee used to play that go way out in the audience. I know like Def Leppard drummer, he's one arm, so like he's had to make certain adjustments that are really cool. And then you got guys that I think are starting to be, and probably women too, who are being more creative with just all the technology in music now that they can just kind of like plug stuff in and affect different things. Essentially, they've been asked many times by different like musical outlets, like, why the hell invent the scorpion tail, right? Mm-hmm. And they just said it. Johnny was working on a MIDI controller that just looked like a PlayStation controller just in his hands, and it was just like, how does that look like rock and roll? Yeah. Look at me now,
Look at me take this turn. No, that's amazing. Just full body experience, and it's not just the music that you're listening to. You're putting on a show. Like I've been to so many concerts, like running camera and right in the front of the stage, and like I'm not trying to badmouth anyone, but Blink-182 was kind of. They were a little mediocre on stage presence and performance. Really? Like they sounded okay, but like it's like it's just
they're just holding it down on nostalgia alone.
Yeah, they really are. Just like innuendos. It's like innuendos and nostalgia is Blink-182.
Yeah, Travis Barker came like he had a cool drum solo and everything. But
sure.
That's a huge thing, huge component of it. I got turned on to metal in the last like couple of years just because I've had to work around it doing camera work just like you. Same thing. I got to work with a band called Beartooth. And no, they're actually they're amazing.
No, I just like
metal
the name.
band. And they got the coolest T-shirts. But you talk about an amazing show during the shutdowns and all that with COVID. We did a live broadcast show for them.
Yeah,
and like we talk about like the fire gags, the smoke, like all the rock stereotypes that you have. But then like their lead singer's full on sending it up on the monitors and everything. I was doing camera down below. My hat got blown off by a gas cannon. It was great.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
amazing. Yeah. Just the show alone was worth it. Let alone their music was good too. And I mean,
that's awesome. Beartooth, I'd check them out. But yeah. I think there is something lost with. I mean, what's that guy? Travis Scott. Is that the guy? Who's the guy? The rapper, the really hardcore rapper. That person got killed at his.
Oh yeah, so that got basically what happened was in the crowd somebody got ran over.
It is Travis Scott.
Yeah,
he's brought a lot of like pageantry to his performances with just different set pieces flying in and out. And I was checking out Iron Maiden. They've always had the like inflatable, their mascot coming down, and Eddie, I think his name. Yeah, and I just think now it's a little bit more like get in, get out, just put lights on the thing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Imagine Dragons, they flew around a little bit, but it was just wire stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, one of their first tours, they'd fly up the guy, the front man, and he would do like this huge like timpani like drum for like a really big dance number up in the air, and he was like playing the drum as he was floating around. So, yeah. I mean, people have tried, but as far like I kind of wish that I could go back to those. There's those funny scenes in like Spinal Tap, right, where the Stonehenge comes down, like, or they come out of the chrysalis, and I just think that creativity is kind of missing a little bit. You get it with Katy Perry and some of the really creative artists, but
yeah, Weezer was good. They had like a whole like set change, like a whatever a drape come down. And then they like wardrobe change, and lead singer like went out into the crowd. Like he rode a scooter out at Blossom.
Wow.
Like on that whatever walkway. Like they just got so into it. Smashing Pumpkins had like these just huge animatronic things on stage, like stuff like that. Cool. Like so seeing a scorpion, this guy riding this instrument just because I've heard that and seen that before, and it's like it is so incredible. Just and you can see him putting all his emotion and effort into it, just feeling the music, and that energy goes out into the crowd.
Well, how do you not when you're up on a giant contraption and you're just like jamming these levers and your hair's just flying? Like, how do you not feel like rock god like moment? Just you know, I would. And I suck, at musical instruments.
It's like being a kid on the playground and you have this like the spring with the horse on it. You're just full tilt, just back and forth, sending it. He's just doing that as an adult in front of 20,000 people.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
With music.
But I do like how for rock stars, like everything is framed in a certain way of just, all right, we need to upgrade this, 3-inch MIDI controller. What should we do? Giant metal horse. Nay, giant metal scorpion.
Yeah. Much more badass. That
I flip up onto the stage. I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
I will do it myself. We'll have a guy come out. No, I will do it myself.
It's just that's insane.
I will ride it up as well on the way up.
So I ride the whole scorpion. That's the next step is just riding an animatronic scorpion onto the stage, and then
I'm here for it. They'll win another Grammy.
Yeah. That's awesome. That leads me to my next point here. Is that you guys? I know you guys. You got the sweet tooth out there. Mm-hmm. So I want to invite everyone out there to come on down to the Sweet of Sweetie Sweets Sweets to try some of her sweet treats. That's right. At the Sweet of Sweetie Sweets, her sweet treats are on display for all to indulge in. Put on your scuba gear and prepare to dive into Sweetie Sweet Sweets at Sweetie Sweet Sweet and enjoy all her sweet treats. It's the only sweet you can enjoy Sweetie Sweet Sweet treats at. Sweetie Sweet Sweets treats are the sweetest treats on this side of Sweet Street. So many sweets to sample, lollipops, lops to lick, chocolates to chow. The Sweet of Sweetie Sweet Sweets treats has them all. When you're checking out, remember to say I have a itch on my VC sweet tooth to the cashier for a free 6-pound bag of sweets for free. This is not an actual product, service, or idea. Just in case you thought it was, it's not. If there is something out there with the same name, we're unaware, have no affiliation, and not no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea. As I have a minor stroke over here.
Sugar will do that to you.
It is. It's all garbage. It is. It's just, that's what it is. And that's what I want to talk about. A little party knowledge here about garbage. Hot garbage. A couple weeks ago, week and a half ago, I found something on for one of our weekly chaoses, I think 107, about landfills. They're using AI technology and cameras to scope out the lake, or not the lake, the sea plastics. There's like 5 big piles, not piles. They're more just areas of garbage in the ocean that is taking over. And so people are trying to combat that. And I just got to thinking, like, where are we throwing all this garbage? How is it getting out into the ocean? So first, I do want to take a look at landfills, because one of my biggest pet peeves, this is a little chest hair too.
My pet thieves.
My pet thieves are get the taco
stealing our
out.
environment from us.
No, one of my biggest pet peeves is people who litter.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like, especially like cigarette butts. You like seeing people at like a stop light and just.
This is gonna get a little. I mean, I could get aggressive about this topic, so let's stick to the facts.
Well, you don't like litter, or you do like litterers? You're a
I
litterer?
love litterers. No, I hate. It's one of the things that bothers me. I hate seeing it. Okay, you see the litter, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But when you watch a person do it, it's very hard for me to handle.
Like, how far did you have to go to a garbage can? Or wait, leave it in your car.
Yep.
Dump it at the gas station. There's literally garbage cans everywhere.
Literally, what it says to everybody else is, you like deserve my garbage. Like, you just deserve. You are like, the world is just so meaningless or pointless, or I don't care at all. So me littering is just an expression of how little you care about everybody else. That's what bothers me.
That's what it is. And yeah, it's like, okay, you're gonna throw away, and it's gonna get tossed out somewhere anyways. But they are trying to control where garbage does go, and recycling. I didn't do too much research on recycling, but it's good intentioned of trying to get. So I want to go through like landfills first, and then I'll get into the ocean plastics here. Okay. But landfills, so they come in with the bottom liner. It's like it's a PVC system, so thick plastic that they dig out this hole. They have some bed underneath, but put down the plastic. Then they got a water drainage system. Like if you're putting down a patio, you got the rocks and the sand and all that stuff. So it's like a filtration system. Then they got the leachate collection system, which, remember that leachate? It's coming up with a little more information.
Leche?
Yeah, the leche.
The leche smoothie.
Garbage milk?
Yeah, the leachate collection system, which it's basically the runoff of water that does happen to get in, and it's just gross water that they collect and then filter out, and it has to be all treated and stuff before they
and they
do
put
anything.
that in the ocean.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Now, then they have a methane collection system, because it's given all the garbage decomposing. Even if it doesn't, it's like slowly giving off carbon dioxide and methane. So they got a collection system for that. So it is semi-dangerous. There are explosions in some instances, but they are trying to contain all these greenhouse gases and all that good jazz. But so I mean, the causes of landfills is population growth. Then you have agricultural waste, soil waste, industrial construction, that kind of waste, and then the other reason would be urbanization, just taking over an area.
Yeah.
That thing that kind of fits in with population growth. But most of the stuff like agricultural, you have manure, crop remains, all that stuff. That's stuff that can kind of be repurposed, reused. Soil waste is waste from markets and hotels, schools, malls, and all that stuff. It's food, broken furniture, plastics, electrical items, electronic goods, all that stuff. So some stuff that does break down, some that doesn't, like metals and plastic, stuff. You kind of hope that can, get reused or recycled at some point.
Yeah.
Reading through this, like glass is obviously that's one of the, like that's not going to decompose for 500 years or something I was reading. But to get that is one of the item or materials that can be recycled like 100%.
Yeah.
And then aluminum, I think, is the other one that's just like high up there, like on reusability.
Okay.
And then plastics are just a whole nother breed of problem. But it was saying a lot of industrial and construction waste is from refineries, wood, metal waste, waste from power plant and construction site that adds up to fill landfills. And 95% of those are biodegradable, all that waste. So kind of okay, I guess, in a sense that it will break down eventually. Yeah. And, but, what kind of toxins are coming off of that? Effects of landfill, just real quick. Air pollution, you got water pollution, land pollution. and you got health issues, excessive methane, just all this stuff that it causes. But they try to lay down the PVC, get all that the liner system down,
all the lychee juice.
Yeah, all the leachate.
I just keep like the further down we drill, I'm just like, okay, I'm hearing all this, and I do this with my wife all the time. All right, thank you for the statements. What is the solution?
That's the problem right now. It's like, do we need to prune down? And that's what I kind of want to bring this up, like to get people like, oh crap.
Yeah,
we're just shoveling stuff into holes in the ground right now, hoping,
It's like the kids who like shit in the house, and they just like put it somewhere so that like nobody finds it. But it's just like that's making the problem worse. It's like, no, you should tell somebody, figure out what to do with it, and then get rid of it. But if you just like hide it, it's just gonna ruin everything for everybody.
That was a Big Daddy. The kid throws up, he puts some newspaper over it, spills cereal, puts a newspaper. But yeah, so like we have air pollution from just toxic stuff and methane, carbon dioxide, all that stuff's going out. Water pollution, if stuff seeps out, like I'm sure there's been tears and stuff getting out of the PVC liner and everything. It's like a pool, they get holes every once in a while.
You gotta go sew it up by hand.
Yeah, you gotta climb under everything.
little mole people who have to like crawl underneath and sew it back up. Are these privatized? Do you know?
That I think so. A lot of it's just companies, and they probably get some sort of regulations going on where they can place these. The biggest landfill that I found is 2,200 acres of space.
Ooh.
And that's the Apex Regional in Las Vegas.
Oh, it's in Vegas?
In Vegas.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. With all the hotels out there, just like complete, like people just changing
it's desert, so it's like, they're trying to get as far away.
But also things, they probably just want things to be disposable out there because they just have all the tourists and guests coming through, and it's just
24/7.
Yeah, 24/7 fast food joint. Stuff your face, throw it out.
Yeah. The next biggest one is in Mexico City, 927 acres it takes up.
Oh my gosh.
So, over here in Ohio, we have the Rumpke Mountain. I believe it's the sixth tallest landfill, according to sea level.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we're on the list somewhere.
We're the apex.
I think they closed that one down off of 480. You used to see them working. It's like it is. It's just a giant hill, and I was looking at it like that'd be the coolest sledding hill ever. And my dad's like, that's literally a giant pile of garbage.
That's yeah. I mean, but you deserve to be there.
Yeah, if you want cancer.
But then it's like, we did that segment on who built the pyramids, just
not even
2,000, 3,000 years in the future when there's like these really high level beings. And they're like, who invented these? Who built the pyramids? It's like, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola did.
The ancient people of 2020 worship banana peels and various kinds of newspaper. They saved them in these giant piles everywhere. They wouldn't get rid of them. You just had to drink the flub juice. Gone. This is some crazy, stupid solution.
Yeah, that's how far off are we now? What people did. Just a little quick facts on landfills, and I want to jump over to the ocean
what if
plastic.
the Mayans just like they had these giant landfills, right? And they're like, we're gonna get busted for these by our future kids. So let's just cover them all up with stone and make them look really pretty and make a coffin for garbage.
Look at these artifacts. Wow.
yeah.
So more than 51% of waste is lands in a landfill. In the UK, about 48% of their electricity comes from landfills. So they're taking that methane and kind of using it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I had that idea as a kid.
Yeah.
But I asked my dad, I was like, what if the pipe's sticking out? He's like, oh, that's for the gases to come out. I was like, why don't you like collect it and use it for cars or something like that? And he's like, yeah, it's not going to happen, dude. Look at me now.
Yeah.
Look at me now.
What you could have been.
London.
Yeah. Methane gas emissions have increased up to 41% due to the amount of landfills out there. So that's where greenhouse gases.
Man, everybody blaming the cows. Lay off the cows.
Yeah.
Come on, it's the landfills, guys.
Garbage, hot garbage. All right, let me quick go over to these in the sea. So, shoot, pardon my take.
In
here.
the sea. Oh, there's like floating islands. There's like people building civilizations.
What do they call it? They call it the garbage continent or
Maybe.
something like that. It's just like this massive area of garbage. Is that what you're getting to?
Basically,
Am
yeah.
I stealing your segment here?
No. I needed that. So yeah, there's the great ocean plastic, but it's not like an island you can go to and stuff. It's
Terrible vacation spot.
Yeah.
Welcome to Plastic Island. Would you like a half-eaten pineapple?
So yeah, so there's 5 different like big collections because of currents. You got there's a couple in the Pacific, Indian Ocean, a couple in the Atlantic. You know, just spread out just because of currents. And
Good to know garbage is not, it's agnostic. It's not like, okay, we're just going to bother these people.
Yeah. Let's see. Every minute, 2 garbage trucks of plastic are dumped into the oceans. Currently, 8 million metric tons of plastic wind up in the oceans. That's enough trash to cover every foot of coastline around the world, with 5 full trash bags of plastic compounding every year. Wow. So,
oh yeah, we screwed. We are screwed.
Yeah. But in in that Weekly Chaos segment, they're working on it and hoping, within a decade they can kind of severely reduce it. But then where's that going to go? It's just going to go in a landfill. It's like,
the one problem I feel like is it's kind of like nurses. The scientists that are working on this aren't heralded enough to being like these people who do these major things for society, right?
Yeah, it's not sexy. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like garbage is essential. I mean, it's a fact of life, so it's like, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many solutions. There's so many problems. We're going to have to do a spin-off show, the Plastic Chaos podcast.
Yeah. Well, it's getting down to stuff that's reusable, like glass, doing that more of that stuff. And I mean, how we have such a consumption problem. I know in America, it's like, I got to have everything.
What are you trying to say?
We have a problem. We're capitalistically driven, and we got to buy everything. Look at all this garbage I got down here. It's like that's going to end up in a landfill somewhere at some point. If
You're starting your own landfill down there. Just concrete over it. Mini Mayans.
Mini Mayans. The Mini Mayans.
So that Great Pacific Garbage Patch, that covers over 20 million square kilometers of water. As we know with conversion, that's
Wait, hold on. What?
7 square miles.
Yeah.
What did you say?
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is what I said. No, over 20 million square kilometers of water, which that's bigger than the combined area of the United States' 5 largest states. Alaska's pretty big on that,
Ooh.
That's Texas, California.
Okay, how's this not like a daily conversation that people are having?
That's the thing.
That's what blows your mind because it's out in the ocean. How many times do you go to the ocean a year? That's why no one talks about it. It's like, oh my God.
That was so accusatory. How many times do you go to the ocean a year, rich boy? I'm not rich. I don't go to the ocean. Why are you looking at me? Just because you have to go to the North Shore, Ohio, suits up, bro, Lake Erie, doesn't mean that I'm like some globe-trotting traveler. Come on, man. Just because my aunt has a condo in Florida doesn't mean shit. That's on a Gulf, bro. So to answer your question, maybe once.
Garbage there in the Gulf.
Yeah.
So they if stuff keeps going at the same rate by 2050, they say plastic. There'll be more plastic in the oceans than there are fish by weight.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it is a little scary, you guys.
Just to scare you guys.
Yeah. As of 2021, there are at least 363 trillion pounds of plastic pollution in the world's oceans. That's a lot. Can you hit me with a Jesus Christ on that?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No problem.
He knows right where they are.
Jesus Christ.
That's a double
Yeah,
Jesus.
But just a couple more little things. So plastic has been found at
More? There's more?
36,000 feet approximately. We know that's more than 7 kilometers deep. 11 kilometers in the Mariana Trench. So that's even the deepest part of the ocean is.
Don't worry, the megalodons will eat it.
Yeah, they're just getting stronger.
I'll say the next rendition of Finding Nemo is going to suck.
It's just like Nemo, just like smoking a cigarette. Be like, I remember when my dad came and rescued me out of an aquarium. Now I live out here in this milk carton.
Like a Marlboro menthols. SpongeBob would have been so different if all this information was implemented.
Just X-rated SpongeBob, just hooked on like whatever the equivalent of seafood
Sponge
meth is.
crack.
Yeah, sponge crack.
So I mean, the problem is, so animals now are colonizing the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, meaning that they're consuming the plastic waste, and they're living in previously uninhabited areas, and all these. It just the whole system of the aquatic food is being.
All right, hear me out, right? The solar sail idea, right?
Yeah.
The whole solar sail idea. I got another one for you, right? Giant catapults. Okay, you just build that thing as big as the Golden Gate Bridge. Line it up, fire it right out.
Right into the sun.
Right into the sun. Just
Keep
aim
that
it.
going.
And all
Yeah.
the people who litter, you put them in there too.
Yeah.
Launch them into the sun.
Seriously, cut their hands off.
Wow.
One digit at a time.
There's reform opportunities, guys. But seriously, no, like just launch it into space. Let some other alien species deal with it.
Oh my goodness.
And that's just more problems.
Elon's like, oh, let's just go to the moon. Let's just go to Mars. He's just trying to escape it. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you could just swap places. You could just start delivering our trash to Mars because you can't breathe on Mars. So just
Not yet.
put all the stuff up there.
Secondary idea: you take the catapults and throw it out into space next to the moon and form a secondary moon made out of just garbage, and then we have a plastic moon that'll never go away because it's not biodegradable.
That's true.
And then we can control the tides, and then we're literally just Aquamans. We
Yeah.
get to surf whenever we want.
You can charge all your batteries up there. There's all
Yeah.
kind of sun. It's good.
Second moon, I like this.
I like that idea. So there are right now about 1,000 rivers that are just dumping plastics into the ocean. Like 80% of the plastic are coming from those 1,000 rivers. Just those outlets. And
This reminded me, you mentioned this earlier, and I was like, that belongs in a fortune cookie.
yeah.
All the trash in the ocean comes from 1,000 rivers. Oh, shit. Just-
My God.
That's deep.
it is
Like,
deep, but it's true.
Yeah. I got a whole nother thing on the Pareto principle. Maybe we'll talk about that one day.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah. So just
I'm
to,
just like a little kid in school.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
More stories, Dad.
so just a share of global plastic waste. Most of it's coming from Asia. They're so densely populated, and they don't have all like the same regulations. But it's all everyone's problem.
But everything, they do design it, a lot of stuff to be just like throw it out,
Yeah.
throw it out, throw it out. Like because you talk about capitalism here.
Yeah.
I mean, they just put stuff in packets, sell it, and then all that packaging just goes out. There are companies here trying to use disposable wrappers or biodegradable wrappers. There's a big push into compostables, and stuff that's plant-based wrappers and stuff like that. So if you got perishable stuff, right, this is what I don't ever get. You're at the store, you're looking at a salad that's in a plastic container. You know that salad's only going to last 5 days after it gets packaged.
Yeah.
Why not just use a compostable container that is like maybe flimsier, maybe could break apart more easily, but after 10 days, after that salad's not good anymore, you throw it out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thing is like it doesn't match up the container compared to what it's containing. I could understand if you're trying to contain I don't even know what for a really long period of time, or like nuclear waste or something like that, and you have to put it in different containers.
Throw it in the ocean.
Hey, thousands of rivers,
Yeah.
thousands of rivers, man.
Your 5-minute salad lasts you 500 years. That's what you need to put on it.
Yeah. Ooh,
Bam.
that's deep.
Yeah, dude. This plastic.
I got
logos.
I can't
for
top
days.
that.
I'm an ideas guy.
Asia is about 80%, Africa is about 8%, South America 5.5%, North America about 4.5%. So I mean, still, it's everyone's problem,
Yeah.
and they are working on, like I mentioned, that weekly chaos is they're trying to scoop up a lot of that ocean plastic and condense it. They think within a decade they can have a pretty good handle on some of it.
One more idea for you, okay?
Yeah. Hit it.
So we got the solar sail idea from last season. We got the catapult idea from this season. All right, hear me out. Little robots that run around and shape all the plastic into like a heptagonal, like 3D shape, maybe an orb. They like put it inside them. They squeeze it like a core
Little
workout,
compactors, yeah.
and then just like stack it around, and that's it. And you call them like
Wait a minute.
eddies or something
Yeah.
like that.
I like it.
I got an idea.
Okay.
Wally.
We just hop on a spaceship, get out of here.
That's
they can
the-
clean it up.
Let them do it.
Yeah.
Got it. Figured it out.
And then once they all clean it up, we'll come back. That's great.
Oh, yeah,
Brilliant. Highly evolved. Man, that segment could go on and on and on. A lot more to talk about. It's like a winding river. I feel like we're going to have offshoots of it in future segments. But it reminds me that even with all the terrible things out out there. Sometimes we can get a little lonely. Sometimes we feel a little isolated. The School of Hard Knocks can sign you up for the fall semester and keep you in class from 8 a.m. to night school. There's a lot of folks out there in need of a little comfort, a little unconditional love, a little snuggle. Well, do I have the thing for you? Creature. Creature is a multifaceted little ball of enduring admiration and unending affection. They are specifically bred from interdimensional cuddlebugs crossed with highly static furballs and a touch of horned scaly crawlers. Creature comes in multiple configurations: furry, fluffy, fuzzy, funky, flammable, fluid, flimsy, flaccid, flimsy, fubsy, and or freaking frozen. Create your ideal creature by going to the website www.ineedcuddles.gov and enter the code IAMGODVCPOD to unlock special selection features not available to other customers. This is not an actual product service idea, just in case you thought it was. It's not. If there is something out there with the same name, we are unaware and have no affiliation and offer no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Nick and I right now, based on a true story, we're going to pitch to DJ Countdown the summer's greatest hit. This one's got a little bit of everything, a little zest, a little spice, a little taco. So here we go. Let me hit you guys, producer Countdown, with our log line.
Hit me.
Dubstep brings down the roof at the Concorde.
Okay.
So this is based on a true story that we have researched thoroughly, and we're really happy to be here at 321 Productions. Essentially, it follows a young man who works at the Concorde, which is like this giant open air. Sorry, it's not open air because we have to have a roof in this story. That was the other script. That was before we did our research. So it's actually like this old Las Vegas venue, and it was formerly Egyptian themed.
Should be something different.
It was formerly samurai themed.
Should be something different.
It was actually themed after what archaeologists believe Atlantis would look like. So it's like an Atlantean architecture style. And they called it the Concorde because the architect was a big fan of grapes. And so this guy, his name is Derek.
Should be something different.
His name is Dante.
Should be something different.
His name is David. So David works at the Concorde that's shaped like Atlantis, themed like Atlantis. It's old, kind of crummy, rundown, and it's starting to slow down. Business started to slow down. The strip's booming, but the Concorde is slowing down.
Yeah. So David, he's man, I got nothing. I need to find something. I mean, we can't do jazz every night. Jazz not bringing everyone in. We can't do this heavy metal. Heavy metal's not bringing everyone in. I got to find the new hot act. Like these blues singers, they're not doing it for me. So David starts putting out flyers for everyone, and
he starts doing something different.
You know what? He goes right on to Twitter. He said, "Hey, listen up, guys."
He starts doing something different.
He goes actually down to the bakery, and he starts talking to everyone at the bakery, and
He starts doing something different.
then the bakery.
He does something different than go to the bakery.
Okay. He goes to the library, and he's checking out the area, and like, this is a quiet place, and someone drops some books, and it just everything hits at that point, and then someone screams because it hit their foot, and it was like that was the first time he heard a bass drop, and this is the inspiration that David has, and it changes his mind, so he goes back home and he starts playing on his keyboard, and he's just making these beats up in his apartment.
Yeah. So he's in the apartment, David, and then but then the next day he goes into work and he talks to Mr. Cobblestone, the owner of the Concorde, who's the fan of the grapes. And Mr. Cobblestone is like, "I got bad news, David," and he's like, "What is it?" And he's like, "We're having to close down the Concorde because we don't have enough business." And David's like, "You got to give me some more time. Like, I think I'm stumbling upon this thing." And he's like, "What is it?" And so David gives him like this very, very bad sample of what he worked on all through the night, with books and tin pots and, then like electronics and just like skewering them through this software. We're going to get like a real sponsor from the real world to like, be the partner on that. And essentially Mr. Cobblestone is like, I'll give you 3 weeks to figure this out, or like 3 months. I'll give you 3 months to figure this out. And if we don't hit certain ticket sales, you're dead. We're done. And so David decides that he's got to go onto these online communities and he's got to find dubstep artists to come into the Concord and to like just shake it up, shake things up. So a couple of people start trickling in. They're okay. Some people come in from the Strip. Like they're starting to see some audiences, but it's just not quite clicking. And then finally he meets this girl, Henrietta.
Should be something different.
He meets a girl named Apple. Her name's
Should be something different.
He names a girl. He finds a girl. Her name is Jacinda, and Jacinda is working as bartender at one of the casinos. And Dave's just like there, like at the craps table, just like kind of gambling. And he's like, I'm screwed, talking to the bartender. She's not paying attention because like he's just another customer. And then he starts just like hammering out a beat and like recording it. And like she's like, oh, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm like sampling for my dubstep. And that's
and Jacinda's like, oh, that's pretty good. But actually, if you do this, and then she kind of moves in, over the shoulder, and okay, if you turn this knob here, and you get this sound, like he's like, wow, how do you know so much about this music, Jacinda? And she says, well, my ex-boyfriend, Raccoon Tacky.
She says something different.
She says, actually, my dad.
She says something different.
She says, actually, well, this one time when I was in my Jeep, I was.
She says something different.
She says, I'm actually the world champion dubstep artist. I kind of do this bartending just to kind of keep my head level.
Yeah, you heard of Skrillex? He got nothing on Jacinda. So anyway, so Jacinda's like, I could teach you some stuff. And he's like, you got to play with me. Like, you got to come to the Concord. Like, I'll give you a residency. Like, she like samples his stuff for him. And he's like, this is brilliant. She's like, I don't play anymore. And he's like, why not? Why not? And she's like, I don't want to talk about it, but I'll help you. I'll help you learn. And so Jacinda and David, they go on a quest to start learning. They start building this ragtag group of different dubstep artists. They got like Slappy J. They got punk rock, not punk rock. They got
Froggy Slim,
and they got XXX TT4
and Book Knife. Yeah.
And so they got all these guys. They got all these guys and girls that are just like these dubstep artists, and he's essentially trying to create an act around dubstep. Okay. And they start to see more and more promotion, and things start getting better at the Concord. And Mr. Cobblestone's like, wow, this is actually working. David, I'm putting you in charge. But then like all of a sudden, another dubstep group like opens down the street at the MGM.
Yeah. They know that this has been hot working, for the Concord. And actually what do we find out is that Jacinda's been going behind David's back, and she was actually the owner of that bar at the MGM, one of the managers there. So she's actually, getting all these people that, Book Knife and Froggy Slim, all of them. So she's been talking to them behind the scenes and getting them to play the biggest show at the MGM. And it's just this competition now that David has to, go up against his mentor and try to keep the Concord open. And so he starts putting out flyers like biggest, best dubstep show the world has ever seen at the Concord.
He like starts booking. Sorry, I didn't step on that. I just wanted to remind you. He said he's booking like a dubstep battle. He's like calling out the MGM crew and Jacinda to come like battle it out, but at the Concord.
Yeah, of course.
So he's like booking this major like showdown event like at the Concord.
What's this event called?
It's called Deep Dive Dubstep.
It should be something different.
It's called Dub and Stub Your Toe.
It should be something different.
It's called Get Heavy with the Dub.
That's a back burner. Give me something different.
It's called Dub 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 Step. So Dub Dub Dubstep, the first iteration, it's everywhere. It's becoming a national thing. Skrillex is going to show up in MC, and all he's going to do the whole time is like that. Just subtitles.
He should do something different.
He's going to be like
should be something different.
It should be like and that's just going to be like subtitles at the bottom of the screen, for like what he's saying. Hey, I mean, it's better than Kim Jong or Ken Jong on like the Masked Singer. So
Yeah. So there's the night of the event, and Jacinda comes with her crew, a Book Knife Trip and Froggy Slim, and Slappy Dog and XXX. They stuck with David. They're like, hey man, you got us on the venue. Like we're sticking with you, even though Jacinda tried to take us. But so then they try to do this battle of so Slappy Dog and Froggy Slim go head to head, back and forth, and then. Book Knife and XXX, so they're going head to head, and the crowd is just loving it, and the walls are shaking, the floor is cracking, and the foundation it's just absorbing all of this dubstepery, and it gets down to the final battle. It's like, David looks around, he's like, oh crap, I didn't think about this. We need a third person, and then that's XXX and Slappy Dog's like, no, you're our guy. So Jacinda goes on the stage, and David's just like, he's like, okay, I have to go against my mentor now. He's not saying that, but this is what the scene is. And so he walks out. He's a little nervous, and kind of just hits the mic on accident. Like he wasn't ready for this, for this big of a moment. But then Jacinda kind of just takes over, and she starts, bringing the house down metaphorically.
And like when her set ends, she just like goes over and looks at him right in the face and is just like, you are nothing, but like into the mic in like a roboto tone. I can't change that. You want it to be something different? She just says she just goes over there and she says right up to his face. This was actually written in by one of our listeners. It was when I take action, I'm not going to fire a $2 million missile at a $10 empty tent and hit a camel in the butt. It's going to be decisive.
I think it should be something different.
All right, so this is from another listener, and so Jacinda walks right up to David in the middle, biggest moment of the movie. The crowd's going crazy, and they're like, her name's just like Jacinda. That's her stage name.
Yeah,
she's lame, and she just looks him straight in the eye, and she says, "I only know 2 tunes. One of them is Yankee Doodle, and the other isn't." And we all know this is crazy.
Yeah.
Because she just played Yankee Doodle.
Yeah. And it brought everyone's just their heads are popping off nearly. And so, what does David have to do? He has to, how does he one up that? Wheels on the bus go round and round. So David's the best rendition of Wheels on the Bus goes off. Everyone is losing their mind. The walls, the pillars in the building they start like rubble starts coming off.
The Atlantean pillars
Yeah.
start to literally warp like rubber bands.
Yeah. The statue of Poseidon is like shaking and stuff. And then just large chunks of stone.
The seashell chandeliers start falling. The giant mannequins of seahorses, they look like they're head banging, but it's really like they're coming loose and like falling off.
The fountains just start spraying everywhere and everyone.
The mermaid's shell bras are just like falling loose. Like it's just all this crazy stuff is happening. And dude, he's going crazy. DJ David is going crazy.
And as like the basin of the dance floor starts to fill with water, he switches it up to row your boat.
It should be something different.
He switches it up to Itsy Bitsy Spider.
It should be something different.
He switches it up to some other kid song about rain that I can't think of right now, but it is in our script. And we will work on it.
We're just so excited. So anyway, it becomes a total mosh pit in the water. Everyone's having a great time. It's all slow motion. Then it's fast. It's just a music video at the end of the film. And he just like finishes it where he just like takes a book, throws it in the air, and he takes a mic and like holds it at the ground. And like the bass drop is just like this giant, Webster's Dictionary book that's just like, boom.
And then he says, "Blessed are the young, for they will inherit the national debt." And that's when the roof collapses. Literally. But at this time,
which is a
everyone's
metaphor for our lost youth.
Yeah. So that's the kind of the story of the Concorde, where Mr. Cobblestone thought, he had, He had to give up his place, but now he just clutched on this, big insurance policy. David finds his love for dubstep, and him and Jacinda actually, she has some respect for him, and they
Let's go down on her.
They battle happily ever after.
Yeah. So that's it. That's it.
This is an epic tale, fellas. What are we gonna call this thing?
Rub-a-dub dubstep.
Rub-a-dub dubstep. Maybe it should be something different.
It could be like Poseidon Adventure.
Something different.
Hits different.
That's a pretty good one. maybe something different.
Bringing down the house.
Okay.
Drop the roof.
Night at the Concord.
Just like a bunch of S's and D's.
Yeah, maybe we could like throw a countdown in there before the dubstep. That'd be really cool before
That's
the
in
bass drop.
The teaser trailer. Yeah.
3, 2, 1 drop, or just
Oh, see, yeah, I like that.
Something like that?
I like that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1 drop.
Yeah, we can put a 3, 2, 1 in there. I think we can totally make this move.
Okay, that's the title. 3, 2, 1 drop. Get ready to drop trow.
Don't be a hero, mate. You look after your mates, and your mates will always look after you. Yeah, cheers.
Yes, cheers, as we go down to Australia for our Aussie news segment here. As we always do, this one is about competitive wood choppers. The Lumberjacks, they're going away in the forest. So competitive wood chopping is facing the axe here as injunctions halt foresting across Victoria. So the Victorian Axemen's Council fear that there will not be enough alpine ash wood available to hold the wood chopping events at this year's Melbourne Royal Show in September. So because the trees are, waning and, they're not going to have enough, it's just, we're losing. I love the Lumberjack games.
Oh, dude, they're like the best man games ever.
Oh, yeah.
Like man-woman game. I don't know, whatever you're into, but it's just like the testosterone is just flowing.
Just pure nature beast, in their element.
Yeah.
So several competitions held at the shows across the state have already been canceled. So they're already losing. So we're going to lose out, and that's just what it is.
So I'm sorry, I might have missed it. It's canceled because of like an environmental kind of policy?
Yeah, concern. There aren't enough trees to use for this event
in Australia.
Yeah, in Australia. So
yeah,
it's a
they're
shame.
gonna come for our trees next.
Yeah, we're gonna ship them over there.
Is that the thing? Like it's like us having like a good tuned hockey stick or some perfect. They're like, nah, this is a perfect piece of ash, mate. I'm gonna cut this ash up all day long.
I'm going to destroy this ash, mate.
Look at that grain.
Beauty.
But yeah, so it's gonna probably be the end of the sport. Maybe who knows how long that's gonna be going on for, like them not doing it, and then is that gonna just cause these current people to never do it again, or because the article brings up that there's a 3rd and 4th generation wood choppers.
Here it is. I got the solution for you, right? As part of the festival every year, there needs to be a tree planting competition, right? And it's like by hand.
50 years ago.
You don't get paid for it. Yeah. Rewind time. No, I'm serious. Like you could do this. Like, so for a couple years, for 10 years, you got to make it the tree planting competition or something around agricultural planting of pine trees, whatever, and just keep going. And then, I don't know. Like,
I like that.
Pivot.
Let's pitch it.
Let's pivot.
I mean, that just goes to show you that in life, when you think you're done chopping everything down, all the stuff in your life that needs to be weeded out, there is no more. And what are you going to do after that? I don't know. Maybe you can go find out and figure out dubstep for the first time in your life and realize that it speaks to your soul. And it's just something that, you got rid of all the garbage because you threw it out in the ocean, and it's just floating around, just like all the plastic out there. And as you swim in your landfills and have all that fun and climb in those mountains, you can look out from your throne on your scorpion's tail, just giving out the best performance of life, love, energy. Because when it comes down to it, it's really yourself that had it in you the whole time deep down inside, and you got to believe that it is the garbage that keeps you going. That's it.
All right, here we go into the recommendation station. This is the part of the show where we make sure that you go away with nothing less than a fantastic recommendation. This week's recommendation, Only Murders in the Building. It's a Hulu show with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. It's in 2 seasons. I haven't finished the first one. No spoilers, because this is a murder mystery show. So there's a lot of like little plot twists and turns. It's very breezy, I'd say. It's very fun. It's set in like a giant New York apartment. There's some nice character work amongst all the people, and then a through line of a murder investigation. It's not too serious in the sense that it's like, oh, like this brutal murder happened. It's not Seven, right? It's not
with Steve Martin and Martin Short. I mean,
right. You're right. But I do like it that, hey, this is a tip for the guys out there. Like, this is a nice couple show. Like, it's tolerable because of Steve Martin and Martin Short, but it seems more accessible, for both men and women because of the just nature of it. But seeing their dynamic on screen, because they're close friends in real life, it's just so nice. It's really pleasant. Yeah. And there's something about both of them that I think sometimes our generation forgets about, like those old SNL people who were just on the original shows. That humor is just really significant and nice. Yeah. So anyway, I really recommend it. I've been having a fun time watching it, and I'd give it a check out.
That was on the radar, and then I forgot about it. But yeah, when I saw it originally, I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. And
yeah.
Then, so I'm glad you brought it up.
And
Thank you.
Steve Martin created the show, and Martin Short is a EP on it, so they're invested in it. Selena Gomez is also a producer on it. So all 3 of the leads are highly committed to it.
Cool.
Well, that does it for this episode of the Velocity Chaos Podcast. I had a great time with you guys. I want to thank DJ Countdown for keeping us in rhythm.
Hey, thanks for having me out this time, guys. It's always a good time.
It was a good time. Thanks for getting us through that screenplay. And hey, we'll see you out on the socials. We'll see you out on the YouTubes and out on the airwaves. But this is Nick signing off.
And this is Luke signing off. Thank you guys once again for everyone that sending us comments and messages and emails. We appreciate it. And look forward to integrating some of those suggestions into the future and upcoming shows. But like we always say, when you're stacking up garbage in the basement, just bring down the house. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the Velocity Chaos Podcast. We upload new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. Interact with us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod or on Facebook and YouTube at Velocity Chaos Podcast. We are grateful for your time and hope you enjoyed it here. Please tell a friend, and thank you once again.